Hello everybody, Ray Garner with Garner's Games, here to do my weekly comic review, and we're going Under the Sea with Aquaman, #1. This book is brought to us by Jeremy Adams and John Timms. Now, Aquaman is a character that I've enjoyed since the 80s, back during the Justice League Detroit era, when I really kind of became a fan of his. And also, when I was a kid, I watched the old Aquaman, Superman Power Hour. So, looking forward to this book. You know, oftentimes Aquaman is written really well. He's had some couple of runs that were really well done. But it's been a while. So, we start off with a little recap of who Aquaman is. You know, the boy, the hero, the lover, the king. And even a god killer. Now, I really do like the art on the book. It's almost like detailed cartoons, I guess I'd say. It's really crisp. It's really clean. We start off with Aquaman having to save a crashing plane, which is not a uncommon occurrence apparently in the DC universe. Definitely not the best world to fly on, because planes crash there regularly. Now, I'm a little out of touch on how some things have developed in the DC universe, but apparently Aquaman now is figuring out how Mira controls water. I don't know that upping Aquaman's power level is really necessary to make him, you know, a better hero. I do think sometimes editors and writers, especially at DC, have a reputation of, well, the answer to make the character better is to give him more powers. I mean, that started with Superman in the 50s. Doesn't work for everybody. But really cool splash scene, or splash page for a splash scene of them saving the plane. And it's really Arthur doing it because Mira's just basically instructing him on how to do it. We get a cool scene with the rescue of all the passengers being assisted by various sea life. But this is where we hit, and I always try to be pretty positive on most of the books that I'm reviewing. This is where we hit my problem with this book, though. This book throws what's going on in Arthur's life at you at a tremendously fast pace. I mean, we now jump to Atlantis. Him being so excited about being king. This weird pearl-like orb showing up, and then big critter attacking Florida. And he immediately goes rushing to face it. Now we do get, and I do like this, we do get references to, oh, we are referring to Justice League Aquaman Drowned Earth, in case you missed that. Well, I did. And I'm not sure when Aquaman gained the power of flight, which is not very aquatic. I'm hoping that was just him jumping at the critter. And he uses his newfound Mira powers to basically, you know, take out the critter. And then there's a call for help. So he rushes back to Atlantis. They get there, and everybody in Atlantis is gone. The city looks pretty destroyed, but that weird pearl-like orb is still there. So boom, cut again. Again, super fast pace. Justice League satellite. the Watchtower, getting Zatanna to try to help, although she can't figure out what it is. She feels like she should know what it is, but doesn't know what it is. So Diana, Wonder Woman, and Batman go to help Arthur find out what's going on. They get to this formation. Arthur can sense that the orb wants to be released, so he releases it. It creates the gateway, and he says he can sense that he needs to go into it to try to help his people, help his wife. You know, they both encourage him to go for it, and he does. And the portal closes, and the Omega symbol is left. And of course, Diana immediately recognizes it, and so does Bruce. And he's like, I see it. God help Arthur, and God help us all. And it's to be continued. My problem with this book, this is an information dump. It is like, here's everything you need to know about what's going on with Aquaman. This is his setup. This is his life. This is what's going on. And everybody's been taken. And he's going to a portal to try to save them. Oh, and by the way, it's Darkseid. And we're done. It's like a movie with bad pacing. We're trying to accomplish what probably, in my opinion, should have taken 2 issues to set up. Let us get to know who he is if you're a new reader. And start kind of building up, letting a little bit more heroic scenes take place. A little underlying current, maybe expand a little bit on what this orb is. Then have Atlantis disappear. And then get on into the, rescuing, figuring out what's going on. Having the portal happen. Then go after him. At Infate it is, an Omega symbol, so therefore it's going to be tied to Apocalypse. It just feels rushed. It's like, I want to do Aquaman in space on Apocalypse, which is where I assume we're going to be going. But I have to explain why Aquaman is there, so we're going to get that done and get it out of the way. And so I don't really care for that. The characterizations of Aquaman is good. The funny scene where he gets knocked into the old couple's apartment. That's amusing because not everything goes well all the time for everybody. I'm curious to see where it goes because I am curious about Aquaman on Apocalypse and dealing with the Darkseid and his minions, Steppenwolf or Caliban or Granny Goodness or any of those. So I am looking forward to seeing what happens. But in my opinion, this is not a good setup issue for what's going to happen. So I think in the long run, it'll be worth it. So I do think you should check it out. But I do not think you're going to be blown away by this first issue. So I'm hoping that the lack of setup will result in a much more fleshed out, cool story of him on, another world dealing with aliens, and alien species and fish and stuff like that. Because, I like Aquaman. I like it when he's written well. And there are elements in here that make me feel like he's going to be written well. I just really feel that getting him to the meat of the story was in the way of the story. And I think we should have fleshed this out more. Anyway, that's my review for this week. I'll see y'all next week. Till then, guess hang 10.